This is huge boxing, and I have the pleasure to announce that Karol Itauma will be joining the Origins card on December 13th. First of all, Karol, how are you, mate?
I'm great. I just want to say thank you to the team for everyone coming together and kind of getting me on this show. It's been a little while since I've been in the ring, so I'm just happy to be here.
Definitely, mate. I mean, let's talk about that. It's your second fight this year. It's an origin. This show's called Origins, marking the beginning of things. What does this fight mean for the context of your career moving forward?
The way I'm looking at this is like my debut. Like I've literally got a new team, got a new setup, and I just kind of want to have a fresh start. And what this card's giving me is the opportunity to showcase what I've been working on, showcase the new me.
Definitely showcasing kind of what you've been working on with your new trainer, Shane Mcguigan. I mean, I don't have to list a numerous amount of world champions that Shane's worked with. We've just seen Ellie Scotney in there, unified world champion. I mean, how has that initial transition been with a trainer as prestigious as Shane Mcguigan?
Well, obviously, just like with anything in life, the initial start is tough because you're getting used to things. Kind of like things are different, but then once you get the ball rolling, it just comes natural. And I don't think I'm at that stage yet, but I'm learning, and that's what's important. That I'm getting into the rhythm and picking up these things, because down the line, that's going to benefit me.
For sure, and it was a pleasure watching you on the pads today, mate. It seems like you were gelling really well already. I mean, before we get back into the fight night, I want to take us all the way back now. I want to take us back to the start of Karol Itauma's boxing career. I mean, my first question, why and when did Karol Itauma first walk into a boxing gym?
This must have been like year 9. So I was in the same class as 3 other boxers, and 2 of them were national champions at the time at schoolboy level. So I was like, do you know what? I need to give boxing a go. So I asked them, like, what gym do you train at? And then they said St. Mary's Amateur Boxing Club. So I think the following night I was in there and never looked back.
You definitely didn't, mate. I mean, and then 2018 Youth Olympic gold medalist, I imagine there was some time in between there, but kind of that whole amateur career, I imagine, kind of culminated in winning that Youth Olympic gold medal. I mean, how do you reflect on that win?
Yeah, like it's tough. Like I don't really think about it anymore because it's in the past, and if you dwell in the past, you get stuck there and you don't develop and you don't grow. So yeah, it's definitely was part of my amateur career, and the great coaches I had. But now it's about developing. Now it's about becoming a complete fighter and a pro. And I believe that under Shane's guidance and his supervision and his experience, I'll be able to become a complete fighter.
Definitely. Is there a particular thing that kind of maybe Shane does differently to other coaches that you've been with before, or is there one bit of advice that he's already told you that you think, oh wow, okay, like you see kind of boxing a bit differently? Is there one thing that Shane's kind of given you in your small amount of time here so far?
Well, I've never been the one to like move gyms. I've always been with one coach.
Sure.
From the day I stepped into the boxing club, all the way to earlier this year, I've been with one coach. So obviously a lot of things are different with Shane. However, I can't pinpoint it to one specific thing because there's so many things. It's like I'm like relearning everything, restructuring everything. But that's what's going to be the key.
For sure. Obviously, there's boxing being boxing. A lot of fighters, they do dot around trainers. They kind of, some fighters only have 2 fights with one trainer and then they go to another trainer. Why is it important to you? Kind of, it's still your second trainer in your whole of your kind of career so far. I mean, why is that important for you to kind of get that longevity with one trainer, and then when the time is right to move over? Why is that so important to you?
I think we can both agree on that in a hard sport like boxing, trust is important. With that being said, when you get to a certain point where you don't feel like you're progressing anymore in a certain environment, you need to look elsewhere. And I feel like I've done the right step in the right direction, in an area and an environment that's going to help me grow, going to help me kind of develop both in and outside of the ring. So yeah, I'm here and I'm surrounded by Chris Billiam Smith, Adam Azim, Caroline Dubois, Ellie's got all these great individuals. So yeah, I'm blessed to be here.
For sure, and you've got a load of in-house sparring as well. We just saw Craig Spider Richards, as well, light heavyweight contender like yourself. I mean, and then obviously Chris Billam-Smith, only one division heavier than you, so I imagine you got rounds there. I mean, it must be nice. It's nice to bring people in for sparring, but you don't have to travel too far. You don't have to wait for people to get stuck in traffic or things like that. If you want sparring, you can ring up a stablemate and come in. That must be a nice feeling as well.
Yeah, of course, it definitely is. But it's also good to like mix in with others. But Shane knows what he's doing, and I'm in good hands.
For sure, he does as well. I want to take it back to kind of your family as well. I want to talk about your brother Moses Itauma as well in a little bit. But it was something that Moses said in a podcast, I think, with George Groves, and he mentioned kind of you guys, you're half Slovakian, half Nigerian, moved over here when you were really young, when you were 7. I mean, Moses spoke about this brilliantly, but I want to get your opinion on this. Kind of, why was it? I mean, why did you guys obviously first move over here, and kind of how was that transition? Because I can't imagine it's a nice thing for anyone to kind of initially move countries, but then also move here at such a young age as well.
Well, once again, I don't think it's like one factor that told like kind of caused us to leave. However, back when we were younger, we were like the only individuals, me and my brother, myself and my brother, with a different ethnic background. So it was tougher from that perspective. So that was one of the reasons why we moved here. Obviously, opportunity. There isn't much in Slovakia back then. So yeah, we came to England. Also, my dad lived there. My dad lived there, and looking back at it now in hindsight, you don't want to do it back then, but now you see that it's for the best, and we're happy to be here.
Definitely, and then obviously you both have excelled in your boxing careers as well. Obviously, you mentioned kind of the ethnic differences. The ethnic differences, obviously, like when you're in Slovakia as well. But boxing is very much a sport. Kind of, you can go into a boxing gym and everyone from everywhere is in that environment. I mean, obviously, you said you didn't go into kind of a boxing gym till kind of later on. But was that I mean, when you walk into a boxing gym and I see it, it kind of fills you with a bit more hope than what there might have been, if that makes sense. It's like boxing is a tool to kind of bring people together.
Yeah. I mean, you can say that, but it's definitely a sport that allows an individual's hard work and talent and perseverance to kind of shine through. Because unlike team sports, you can be working hard, you can be grafting behind the scenes. However, you can still lose as a team. So boxing is a sport that kind of you can't hide from. You can't hide in the ring, and the hard work shines through. So that's what's great about it.
Have you always liked? I remember speaking to a few fighters, and sometimes they'll play a bit of football beforehand, and they don't like that. They could have had a 10 out of 10 in that game, but one person's had a 1 out of 10, and that's ruined the whole game. Do you kind of like that about boxing, that if you mess up, that's my fault, and I know where to look? Is that something that you like about this sport?
Well, it's definitely the biggest factor of it. It's like you take the glory. Obviously, your team helped you get there. And played a huge part, your support system. These are all key components of what kind of like makes the success. However, at the end of the day, it's like you're the one getting in the ring. So yeah.
For sure. Let's talk about your support system. I was talking to you about this off camera. I always like it when either yourself or your brother fight, because I always look to my right and I always see one of the other brother kind of, calculated kind of excitement, fear, kind of motivation, kind of. You're always screaming at each other to do well, but sometimes I think you're a bit louder than the corner team as well. Sometimes, I mean, but talk to me. I mean, it must be nice to have a supportive family, but to have someone that passionate in your life about kind of your own success, it's like,
absolutely. Obviously, I'm blessed and grateful to have my brothers and the family I have. Myself and Moses, we've kind of been in the sport together for years now, backing each other and kind of pushing each other on. And if anyone knows how I feel, it's him, and vice versa. So it's definitely great.
Do yourself and your brother kind of, obviously boxing is a lonely sport, but you guys obviously understand you're both still doing it, right? You both understand the same things. Do you ever kind of ring each other up and go, what shall I do here? Get bits of advice from each other?
Yeah, of course, like he always sends me videos, and always like we look at stuff in terms of sparring and learning. So yeah, and if I ever have a question about anything, I'm in good hands with him. Even though we don't train together anymore, we always come back to the same place. We're living on the same roof, so that's always good.
I actually want to talk about one thing with Moses. Obviously, there's the infamous story about him coming to this gym. Mm-hmm. I mean, in his school gear to spar.
It wasn't this gym. It was the one in Canterbury. But yeah,
the infamous story, him going to spar Lawrence Okoli in his school gear, and Lawrence kind of seeing it and going, "Oh, I'm in for a bit of an easy spar." And then apparently after that, he had sleepless nights. I mean, do you kind of laugh about that story? I mean, it's nice that Lawrence shows that respect now, but it's not every day that the cruiserweight world champion is having fits about sparring.
It feels so long ago now. Like I do remember that day and those times where we used to come and spar. Well, he went there and sparred, and it just feels like so long ago.
Definitely as well. And we'll move back to December the 13th, mate. I mean, this is a massive fight for your career moving forward. You kind of said it's like your professional debut now. Yeah. But what can the fans expect on December 13th at York Hall?
Definitely put a more mature, more developed version of myself. And I just want to be able to show everyone that I'm learning and I'm improving. That's what's going to get me to the top.
For sure. We look forward to seeing it. Karol, any final words for the fans flocking to York Hall to watch your fight, mate?
Guys, just it's going to be a great night, and looking forward to seeing everyone there.
Make sure to grab your tickets from Karol himself or on the website as well. But yeah, see you at York Hall on December the 13th.